30 years of dreaming, 1 year of planning, and now our ultimate adventure to Antarctica is finally here. Our goal? To cross the Antarctic Circle. And we did. But what we discovered was so much more. Breathtaking landscapes, untouched wilderness, and incredible wildlife at every turn. Trying to describe Antarctica in words feels impossible. So instead, we'll show you. Join us as we take you on an unforgettable journey to the last great frontier. The majority of cruises to Antarctica depart from the port of Ushuaia, Argentina. Our adventure started with Quark's ground logistics team the night before boarding.
So, welcome to Ushuaia. Welcome to our embarkation briefing. My name is Valeria, and this is Danny, and we are part of the ground logistics team in Ushuaia.
The next day we embarked around 4 p.m. after a very short bus trip down the pier.
And we'll have some staff inside just directing you up to the deck 5, where you'll check in with the reception. At reception, they're going to take your passports, and they'll have some of our cabin stewards there to bring you to your cabins. All right. If you see that a lineup starts to grow, and you want to just sit down and have a drink, the lounge is right next to the reception area. Please feel free to sit and take a load off for a little while and observe the queue, and if it starts to dissipate and you want to check in and make your way to your cabins.
Welcome, Rex.
We're just waiting to check in.
With only 126 passengers, it didn't take long to have everyone boarded and checked into their rooms. If you want a more in-depth cabin and ship tour, check out our first video in this series. Muster stations.
Ladies and gentlemen, the signal you have just heard is the general emergency signal, consisting of 7 short and 1 long blast on the ship's whistle and alarm bells. This means there is an emergency on board, and the captain has decided to muster all passengers at their respective muster station.
I guess it's fine. It's all good time.
There you go. You will survive. The icy deep.
So we have sailed away now, and
We need to speak up because we are outside. Or go and get the microphones. Those are our 2 choices. But now we've left Ushuaia behind us, as you can see. We've done our lifeboat drill. The lifeboats are just below us, you can see. You're supposed to be able to get 150 people on each of those 2 lifeboats that they have. Hopefully we won't have to discover that.
But we've checked out our cabin, we've unpacked,
Yeah.
fitted our jackets, and I had to go size up a couple sizes to make sure it fit everything with all my layers, like all the extra layers I'm going to need to be warm in Antarctica. And they had a jacket that fit me, and yeah, we'll showcase the jackets a little bit at another time.
Jacket's pretty groovy.
Crossing the Drake Passage is known for being unpredictable. Sometimes it's wild, sometimes it's calm, but we got incredibly lucky. This is what they call the Drake Lake. We spent our 2 days at sea getting to know the ship and other passengers and preparing for the adventures ahead. The ship's expedition team kept us engaged with presentations on birds, geology, and what to expect when we finally reached the White Continent. On day 2 of our crossing, we saw our first Antarctic iceberg. Such a small but exciting glimpse of what awaited us in the upcoming days. On day 3, we crossed an invisible but significant line, the Antarctic Circle. This marks the point where the sun stays above the horizon for 24 hours in summer and never rises in winter. Fewer than 100,000 people in history have ever ventured this far south, making this moment truly spectacular.
We are about to cross the Antarctic Circle. Yay!
To celebrate, the crew and expedition staff created a festive atmosphere on board, including music, banners, and signs. We even got to toast with hot chocolate and Baileys to this once-in-a-lifetime achievement.
If someone gets too excited, stand up without asking, and we bump into ice, or I speed up, and this person fall over. What can we do? Oh, yes, everyone takes selfie first.
Our first outing on the Zodiacs took us to Detaille Island. The historic Station W was a British research outpost established in 1956. We got our first glimpse of wildlife from a Zodiac when we passed a crab-eater seal as we approached our landing site. This was the only day we got poor weather, but we were still able to make the landing. The large fluffy flakes were the biggest we've ever seen and made the whole experience magical.
In 1959, only 3 years after it opened, the sea ice had moved in and made the station inaccessible by supply ship. The personnel closed the station in a hurry, taking only what they could carry on dog sleds.
Station W is frozen in time, offering a fascinating glimpse into the harsh conditions early Antarctic scientists endured, with preserved artifacts and supplies still sitting as they were left decades ago. Our morning at Stonington Island started with seals. The seals are quite tame and trusting of boats and passers-by. Crab eaters hunt mostly at night, which leaves them plenty of time during the day to enjoy resting on icebergs. Stonington Island is home to both the United States Antarctic Service's East Base and the British Antarctic Survey's Station E. East Base is the oldest American research station, commissioned in 1939 and last used in 1948. These bases are designated historic sites and monuments. Unlike yesterday's Station W, East Base seemed to be just a random collection of things that were left behind when the base closed. We just chillin', waiting to get on our next Zodiac tour. We're going to do what they call a split landing. So there's 126 people on the ship, and so what they do is they get half of the people off on Zodiacs to go and just cruise around, look for whales, look at sea life, look for whales, look for seals, birds, look at the pretty ice. There's so many icebergs. And then the people who are not on the Zodiacs get taken by Zodiac over to the landing spot, and they get out and walk around. The next stop has a Adelie penguin colony, and I think there's like 3,500 mated pairs. And so we're gonna get up close to some penguins in the next one. So we've already done a trip this morning, out a landing to a historical base, and then we're doing another one this afternoon. It's very, very busy. Before we landed at Red Rock Ridge, we encountered some leopard seals. One of our encounters was with a playfully aggressive seal that did not shy away from our Zodiac. In fact, It got a little too curious and ended up puncturing the back of the boat by biting down on the hull. Don't worry, it's still very safe and was just an annoyance to patch. Adelie penguins are some of the most iconic birds in Antarctica. These little guys are built for the cold, with thick feathers and a layer of blubber to keep them warm. They're super active, spending most of their time swimming and hunting for fish in the icy waters. When they're babies, they're covered in soft down feathers, but as they grow, they start to get their waterproof feathers. These waterproof feathers let them take their first plunge into the frigid ocean. But when they are transitioning, they look so silly with little mohawks and tufts sticking out all over the place. They've also got these adorable wide googly eyes that make them look extra cute and a bit stunned while they waddle around.
Red Rock Ridge was our first continental landing, and it was an unforgettable moment, especially because it marked our 7th continent together.
There's something truly captivating about Antarctica wildlife encounters, especially when the animals let you simply stop and watch them. It's like time slows down for a moment. You're no longer just an observer, you're part of the scene. What makes these encounters even more special is how undisturbed they are. The wildlife isn't running or hiding, they just let you be there. And it's humbling, reminding us how important it is to respect their space while soaking in the beauty they offer. It's moments like these that stay with you long after the encounter is over. Those rare glimpses into a world where time seems to stand still, and we're just lucky enough to witness it.
Base Y is managed by the Antarctic Heritage Trust. This British research station was occupied from 1955 to 1960, when its personnel were transferred to Stonington Island's Station E. Sometimes these stations will be occupied temporarily when a country wants to come in to do local survey work, or some upkeep on this historical site to keep it safe and preserved.
After getting back on board the ship, we went up to the observation lounge deck to enjoy some hot chocolate and see if we could spot some whales. We were lucky enough to spot a pod of orcas and some humpbacks right off the bow of the ship.
Where are we?
I don't know.
No, neither do I.
Adelaide Island is that way.
Yep.
Yeah. And we're starting to enter the Gullet.
Yeah, it's getting pretty tight out there.
Yeah, we've seen orcas, and now we're having a beer in the hot tub.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
The Gullet is a very narrow channel between the eastern extremity of Adelaide Island and the west coast of Hansen Island. The ice cover became a lot thicker as we made our way towards the narrow channel.
And this is what we're going through, the ice field. We are sailing through big sheets of ice through the Gullet. Extraordinary. We're not going very fast, but we are driving through ice.
That night, we did not sleep very well, as the ship was attempting to crunch through the ice, and our cabin was on deck 4 at the bow of the ship. We were informed the next morning that there was too much ice in the Gullet, so we had to turn around in the night and go through the equally narrow Gunnel Channel. We're only halfway through this polar adventure. From breathtaking landings to incredible wildlife encounters, Part 2 is going to take things even further into the heart of Antarctica. So if you're loving the journey so far, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next episode. Drop a comment below if Antarctica is on your bucket list. Have you been already? Let us know what your favorite moment was.